In this video, we'll be completing Independent Challenge 3 on Excel, page 126 to 127. The most common mistake everybody has been making is they just look at the sample and they type it all in, and then they're not using the formulas and naming functions of it. So we want to make sure we get that set up correctly. So this is a file we're just starting from scratch. You're not opening a sample file. So once you have your blank book open, just do a save as and move it to your Z drive. And this one's supposed to be called EX5 options. I'll zoom out just a little here for the video so it looks a little better. And we'll start up here with the title. So it looks like we merged because we're trying to match what you're seeing in that sample. So we're going to merge A through G. So we'll merge and center those, and then we're going to put in our company name, which is GWW. Then we'll do the same here. A2 to G2, merge and center. And this is loan options. For now, we'll leave those there. We'll come back and format them a little later. Let's go down to A4. So make sure you leave A3 blank, because if you're following along with me, for everything to be the same as I have, you have to have everything in the same cell. So in A4, loan source, and I'm just using the sample here on the bottom of page E126 to enter this in. So loan source, loan amount, interest rate, number of payments, monthly payment, F4 is total payments, and finally G4 is total interest. You can manually go ahead and just make those a little wider. You should come up here between A and C. Mine will look a little different. Again, I'm zoomed in and I'm also using 2019 version, but everything will run the same as far as you getting your project done. So total payments, I'm just getting these wide enough so everything fits here. All right. We're going to go ahead and enter it. In the instructions, it wants us to enter all the information from A through D in regard to completing the problem. So we have SBA for the loan source, from bank, investors, up to B6. These are all 100,000. Interest rate, remember we need to put these in decimal form, because when we switch it back to interest rate, it's going to be in percent. In other words, we'll have like 450% when we convert it. So 0.045, 0.0575, and 0.0825. Then we'll go to the payments column, and we'll go 48, 60, oops, and finally 24, and that was finishing up in D7. If we come over here, and again, we don't want to fill this out with the sample. We're going to use the features to calculate this. Let's get a little formatting in. So I'm going to come up here and switch this to currency. So I'm coming back to the Home tab, and I'll just drop this down to be currency. Interest rate, I'm going to come up here again to my number formatting in the Home tab, switch it to percent. Let's go to 2 decimal places as the sample is. And payments we can leave set, so we need to calculate these, so it'll be the payment function here. But it also wants us to practice using named regions, so we're going to set that up. So we're going to go to the data tab to set this, and that's following along on E27. let's jump over to the formulas tab to go ahead and define our names here. The first thing it has us do, I'm on letter C on Excel page 127, Independent Challenge 3, the continue portion, and I'm going up here to my monthly payment. So we need to do PMT, so we're going to go up to Financial, and then come down to PMT. And then we can drag this to the side here. Again, if you can't see all your data, just makes it a little easier to run the wizard. And so again, we're going to select rate. So that's just C5. I'm going to use the divide sign by 12 because interest rate's always spoken in terms of year, and we're calculating a monthly payment, so we divide by 12. The number of periods, and PERs, the number of periods, that's how many payments. These are monthly, so we're going to do 48. PV is present value. That's how much money we are borrowing. So we always set that to negative because we don't say we make a car payment of negative 160. We say we make a $160 car payment. So we set this to negative for the math to come out correctly. Future value is going to be 0 because it's going to be paid off. So from there you can click OK, and you should be able to match that up with the book. And then we're just going to go ahead and fill down using the fill handle, and then we can see the variation in these monthly payments. We're going to add the name range setup here. So after we've calculated these payments, again, this is E5 to E7, we're going to go up to define name. And this range is going to be monthly payment, and this is nice because it recognizes since we have that title in the section. And make sure we change the scope. And actually, we skipped that first step where we're supposed to name that sheet. So yours, if you follow the steps, you name that sheet 1 loan summary. So I'll just select sheet because that's my scope right now. We could rename. This will be a good test to see if it renames the other part automatically. All right. Next, I'm in letter D. Name the cell range containing the number of payments, the scope of the workbook. So number of payments. Again, define name. It recognizes payment. I change the scope. It recognizes we switch that to loan summary. Next, in letter E, enter the formula for total payments for your first loan source using the named ranges, monthly payments, and number of payments. Then copy the formula as necessary. Okay, so we want to find out how the total payments. So we're going to just do equals, and then we're going to do up to using formula, and we're going to do the monthly payments, then do the asterisk on the 8, so that's multiplying times, and then I'm going to come up to the number of payments. Then I'm hit enter, and it should give me my total payments made on this loan. Then I'm going to fill down, and I'll switch that to currency. So I'm going to come back to the home tab, to the number launcher, and drop down to currency. Then let's see, that moves us to F. Total payments, loan amount, we got that one. We need to name the loan amount. So I'm going to come back to formulas, define name, loan amount, change the scope to loan summary. Now I can do my total interest, which we're taking the total payments minus loan amount. So we can just do equals. Then I'm going to use in formula. And if you're following along, I jumped a step there. We got to label total payments also. So define name, total payments. Make sure you switch to loan summary. There we go. Now you can come here to total interest, and now we can get that going with your equals sign. Using formula, total payments minus your original loan amount. So we're using the using formula again. Loan amount, enter, or the check mark. Can drag this down. Again, I'm going to come back to the Home tab and switch to currency. Then we know how much interest was paid on that loan. So now we have this completed. All your numbers should match the bottom of page E126. And it asks you to do a little formatting. So take the last bit here and change the color of this and some row height just to give it a little flavor. And then make sure you save. And that's Independent Challenge 3 on page 127.